Hello and welcome to the CloudFolks Hub. I don't want to explain you all the ECS features theoretically. I want you to understand all the features of ECS by doing project. That's why we are doing our project and we are deploying PHP application inside ECS cluster. I want to explain you all the related features of ECS step by step, and that's why we have divided our project into the 8 steps as well. We already covered step number 1. We created our ECS cluster. If you look at over here, I am inside AWS console and this is my ECS cluster ready. Then we also understood that if you want to create or deploy application inside your ECS cluster, you have to create task and service. Now, task and service required Docker image, but you cannot create this Docker image inside your ECS. So ECS is not supporting any features to create Docker image. Now, if you want to create Docker image, you have to set up external computer or server. So we created one EC2 instance. We named it build machine. And I also explain you how you can create your Docker image. Provided you source code, and from this source code you have successfully created Docker image in the step number 2.1. If you look at over here, I have this build machine and this is image I have. After creating image, we also tested this image locally. Why? Because if the image having any issue, it will be problematic for us when we are going to deploy service or task. So we tested this particular application locally and we found that there is no issue and it is working very well. Now, I have tested image already there in my build machine. But if I want to create task or service, I have to send this image into the ECS. How I can do this? Right now, I have this image available here. Right? From GitHub, you clone the source code. In build machine, you created image. Now, I want this image into the ECS. Now, can I send this image directly from my build machine to ECS? No, you can't do this. You have to use another service over here. This service is actually, the bridge between your build machine in which you have image and your ECS cluster. Now, what is the name of this service and how we can use this? I'm going to explain you everything about this mysterious service in this video. So let's start. Okay, let me tell you the detail about this service. Now, the service name is actually ECR. ECR stands for Elastic Container Registry. Now, what is ECR and how we are going to use this service and the features of ECR? Let's understand this step by step. Understand Amazon ECR, our point number 3.1, and then we will go for the step number 3.2 as well, practical of ECR. So 3.1. Let's start with the ECR introduction. ECR is a fully managed container image registry service provided by AWS. If you want to store container images, the best way is store these images into the ECR. ECR itself is a repository in which you are actually storing container images only. Now, you may have like a question in your mind that we have Docker Hub, right? So if you know about Docker, in Docker we have Docker Hub. Now we can store our public images and private images inside Docker Hub. Of course, you can use Docker Hub and it is always there. Now, if you don't want to store your image inside ECR, you have this option to store images inside Docker Hub as well. So Docker Hub is always there, but Docker Hub is not part of AWS ecosystem, right? But ECR is a part of AWS ecosystem. So instead of storing your image inside Docker Hub, if you are going to store your images in ECR, you will get some extra advantages as well. So let me explain you why we need to use ECR. The first is very simple process. ECS is not going to create any images and ECS is not going to store any images, right? So ECS is not going to store your image. Now in this case, you have to have image registry or repository in which you can store images. Whenever needed, ECS will pull these images from the registry, and that's why we need ECR. Now, we have two types of image repository. One, we have Docker Hub, we have ECR. So why we are going to use ECR instead of Docker Hub? Here we have this answer: security and access control. ECR images are private by default. If you are using Docker Hub, you have both of these options. You can store image in a public repo, you can store images in the private repo. Private repo means your organization can only access this. But ECR having only one option, that your images will be private and you can access these images from your AWS services only. And if you want to access these services, you can access very smoothly because here it supports IAM role. So permission will be provided through the IAM role, which is very easy to use and simple as well. Another advantage is faster performance. See, right now I am inside my Elastic Container Registry console. Now if I am going to create a repository from here, it is going to create this repository in Mumbai. Means all the images will be stored in the Mumbai only. And my ECS cluster is also in Mumbai. So when I am going to access any images from ECR, there will be low latency because both of these services are actually in the same region. ECR also storing images in India, ECS also having all the cluster in India, so there will be performance benefit and there is a low latency access. If you are going to use Docker Hub, now Docker Hub is not giving you any kind of detail about the location. So maybe your image is in US and you are accessing this image from the ECS cluster and ECS cluster is in India, means there will be delay. So here you have faster performance and you are storing your data into the same region. Another advantage, Docker Hub having a rate limit. So when you are going to push and pull the images, there is a rate limits applicable as well. But ECR don't have this, so you will get always faster performance. So these are the reasons that why we are using ECR instead of Docker Hub, right? Now, let's understand use case of ECS in our project. Yeah, there is typo. In step number 2.1, we created Docker image of our PHP application on the EC2 instance, right? I have this image available over here as well. In the build machine, I have this image. Now, we want to deploy application using ECS, right? Now, I want to deploy application inside ECS, but here the challenge. We can't directly copy or drag the Docker image from the EC2 to ECS. Simple. This is not possible at all. ECS doesn't pull images from EC2. It pulls images from the container registry. Means our ECS cannot access this image from here. It can access this image from here, right? That's where ECR comes into the picture, right? So first of all, this is a problem. I cannot send this image directly from build machine to ECS. We want to solve this problem. That's why we are using ECR. Now, how we are going to use this ECR? Let me explain you this as well.
Sorry to interrupt you. I know you guys are enjoying our video a lot because our final ultimate goal is Solution Architect Certification exam. To reach the destination, we required full videos. Path number 1, our 6-in-1 program. Our 6-in-1 program include all prerequisite skills which is needed as a cloud engineer. It include 24/7 support, lifetime update, section-wise practice test, full course practice test with tips and tricks by Bhavesh Attara, how to do exam preparation course, weekly lifetime live session with Bhavesh Attara, and 6 AWS project with documents. Path number 2, you can enroll by paying 499 and get Hindi and English, both the languages, videos of AWS. The choice is yours how to create your success story by choosing best one. Best of luck. Thank you.